Okay, are you ready for one final day in our 21-day series? We are on day 21 today, and if you are, let's go. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah K. Hoffman, aka a Gutsy Girl, and we have been spending a very long time going through days 1 through 21 of a Gutsy Girl's Bible, a 21-day approach to healing the gut, and today we have arrived at day 21. Okay, so what is today's topic? What is the title? It is Everything is Beautiful in Its Time. I believe so much in this that I actually had it tattooed on me, Ecclesiastes 3:11 in Roman numerals, quite some time ago, and it's kind of, in addition to heal your gut, heal your life, my personal mantra, my personal, what I strive to do, live through, breathe every single day of my life. And so I wanted to end the part of the book that was filled with my stories with everything is beautiful in its time, a little bit more context, and really help you to understand how you can fit into that as well. Today is the last day of your 21-day journey, and I want to leave you with 6 words that have guided my life since my own journey. Everything is beautiful in its time. This phrase comes from the Bible, Ecclesiastes 3:11. I believe so strongly in these 6 words that I turned them into a tattoo, 3:11, etched on my inner right wrist. I first heard this passage in my 20s when I started going to a young women's Bible study group. The women in the group shared a lot of personal stuff, but each week I stayed quiet. Maybe it was because I didn't know these women very well, or just because, as I mentioned previously, I was programmed to keep things very tight to the vest and not show my own emotion. But week after week, I'd listen as the others shared stories of infidelity, assault, abuse, and more, and feeling like my circumstances were less than, would stay silent. Then, one week, the conversation turned towards the subject of things we had been longing for. As we went around the circle, I was dreading my time to speak up, telling myself to keep it together because the thing I had been longing for was very clear and obvious, a baby. When my turn arrived, it all poured out. I cried as I spoke of our desire to have a baby and how month after month it was not happening. After I shared, a very young woman spoke up and said, I have something I want to share with you from the Bible. This woman was probably the person in the group who I felt the least connection with, and in that moment, I assumed there was nothing she could possibly have to offer that would connect with how I was feeling, how I had been feeling for months on end. Then she read, Everything is beautiful in its time. She promised that eventually I would see what the words meant and their message would become very clear. When I left that night, I felt a different connection to the Bible than I ever had before. Those 6 words never left my mind or my heart, and now years later, everything in my life is exemplified by this phrase. I never gave birth to children, but instead was blessed with 3 beautiful babies we adopted from the foster care system in California. I cannot imagine a life without them. Even the way I healed and the timing of my healing just before my dad passed was something I could have never predicted. Yet, it's meant more to me than it would have had I healed years earlier. I think about the children, my dad, healing my gut, my relationships, living arrangement, career, all of it. Somehow, everything has been beautiful, but only in its time. Whether or not you are religious, I believe these words have value for all of us. My hope is that someday you too will look back and say, wow, how true is it that everything is beautiful in its own time? You don't have to love every moment of your gut healing journey. In fact, you won't, and that's completely normal. But to heal and get better, you do have to remember what I said on day 1. Nothing changes if nothing changes. The journey is long, and there might be moments where you can't see where you're headed or even why. Just remember, everything is truly beautiful in its own time. And darling, it's your time. And that is a wrap. GutsyGirlBook.com is where you can get the full book, A Gutsy Girl's Bible, a 21-day approach to healing the gut. There is all the stories, all the extra material that goes along with it. There is also 100+ food creations, ideas of things to eat, as well as a lot more information. This is the compilation of all the things that I really have extracted and taken with me from my gut healing journey. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have so much more coming. My number one prerogative is always to continue to provide information, resources, stories, and just another friend in the gut health and gut healing community that you feel like you can just sit down with, chat with, have a cup of something with, and enjoy a little bit more of each day, even when it sometimes seems like these are the darkest of our days. I will see you again